Welcome, everybody, to Adrift in Aldhalor, our weekly actual play D&D show set in our homebrew world of Aradun. Our music is licensed through musicbed.com. And we occasionally will use TabletopAudio for some ambience, maybe some Syrinscape. Not often, but occasionally. I'm going to bring someone else in now, named Shannon.
That's me. Hello.
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 What's up?
Not much.
What's
Our
up,
friends are in a
Shannon?
mood.
Calling
Our
in
friends are in a
to
mood.
TTRPG rock radio station.
Yes. First time caller, long time listener. Or is it the other way around? Long time listener, first time caller. I forget which one it is.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Have you heard the expression before
Yes.
that I've used?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
All right. All right. Well, shall I talk about our partners?
You shall.
All right, here I go. Shalling like I've never shalled before. Roll for initiative and check out Arcane Spectacles, your haven for all things TTRPG. Their personalized D&D themed Christmas ornaments will be a critical hit under your tree, and their top-notch tabletop RPG accessories will give you an edge in battle. Customize their ornaments with your party's names to show off your adventuring party like never before. Don't miss out on your chance to level up your tabletop experience with Arcane Spectacles. Visit them at arcanespectacles.com. Scroll. Next, we have Underground Oracle Publishing. They are a best-selling Annie-nominated TTRPG publisher, bringing new and exciting settings to the cipher system of every genre that you can imagine. Each setting includes everything you need to get started and explore its unique world, including lore, species, descriptors, foci, creatures, ciphers, artifacts, and all of the rules that you need to play. For as little as $3, you can join their Patreon and help shape each of the worlds that they create. Next, we have Eddie Yorke. He is our beloved character artist. He is an illustrator based in the UK who makes art for games and books. To visit his portfolio and get in contact with him, visit eyorke.com. And last, but certainly not least, we have 1985 Games. They create affordable, accessible, high-quality accessories for D&D
Dinda.
and other TTRPGs. Sean uses their NPC cards and has throughout our entire game, and they have really brought to life some very exquisite NPCs, and they're pretty great. They have lots of info on them, as well as some artwork on the front, so you can give your players that word picture to help them visualize.
Word picture? Description.
Oh, no, a word picture. You could paint me a word picture.
Ah, yes. Yeah. Here it is.
Yeah. Just like that.
That's a word picture.
If you'd like to perch that, that's an actual
You'd like to
picture.
perch that.
Word picture. All right. Would you like to finish it?
Nope.
If you would like to purchase these cards, use the code paradiceprod for 10% off your order.
Mm-hmm.
The usual miscellaneous stuff, VODs and recaps will eventually get up to date. I saw you uploaded one of them. I
started uploading the second one and it failed because I
failed.
lost internet. My internet stopped.
Oh no! And then there's one more after that I need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. But I did see, so thank you.
Yes, 74 is there now, so you can post 74 and 75, and then I need to fix 76, upload 77, and then we can go
from there.
through them all. Yes.
Yeah. So we are actively working on it. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, it will be up soon.
Recap's a whole nother story. That's gonna take a whole day of me sitting down and going back and remembering.
What's the last one that you
So the thing is, I've written some of them though. Like that's the thing. I just haven't uploaded them because I don't want them out of order. So there's get that. 75% of them were written. There's just that 25% that are necessary to continue uploading them.
I totally get that.
Like I didn't write tonight's yet. So
you didn't? I thought that's what you were doing.
No, I was watching a video for a voice.
That's fair. So while we get our shit together, join us in Paradise on Bluesky, Twitch, X, YouTube, the Discords, Instagram, and Tiki Taki. That's it.
Look, we're all here.
Is
now.
it more friends?
Mm-hmm.
More friends. Hello, friends. Some of us are in a mood tonight.
Yes.
Hello. A Mark Anthony mood. What's that? Nothing. Never mind.
Anyway, shall we? Shall we go into the recap? No? Stefan, you're the one who controls this by changing the audio. So we're stuck in this tavern music forever.
Whoa. Sean, how'd you make my green blanket not show up on the green screen? This is a new stream advancement.
Oh.
You noticed that?
Know. It's slightly translucent on there.
I can
Maybe
see
it's the
it.
texture.
It's there.
It's probably the texture and the shine on it that makes it
The music has started.
Oh, recap. Last we left off. Our heroes made their way to Sercanto under the guidance of Leon Ferenz, the captain of the militia guard here in the Sercanto Valley. Oh, I thought that was a raised hand.
I can change the color profile or the
Oh,
it's like
you're-
really warm and cold if I move too much.
Anyways, last we left off, our adventurers made their way to the settlement of Sercanto under the guidance of Leon Ferenz, captain of the militia guard here. As a reminder, Sercanto is a settlement made up of refugees from the various crises that have occurred within the Gosu Highlands, now known as the Gosu Haunt. Particularly in the old days, the magical winter that plagues the northern lands caused many to migrate south, and then even more migrated south when the creeping undeath drove them down here. Leon Ferenz took this as an opportunity to teach the adventuring party about the different areas of the camp, the different things that made up Sercanto, including the original Old Town and all of the various camps that have formed around the city/town. You also learned that one of these camps is known as the Revel Camp and has a reveler cleric named Thalwyn, an elf, who leads this band. You also learned that this Leon Ferenz, is part of the Green Grave Camp, where there's the resting place of many a Green Knight that has passed through here, despite he himself not having a green cloak for the Order. You learned also that there's a place called Hag's Hamlet, where certain Fey-like magic comes out of, particularly these priests, these clerics, these priestesses that go around distributing various medicines and herbs throughout the village. You learned that these blackouts, as Ferenz calls them, happen ever so often, where a storm comes, and with that storm comes a particularly ominous force that everyone in the town refuses to say the name of or even really acknowledge what exactly it is, out of some fearful superstition of summoning the creature. You also learn generally that the people here are extremely superstitious. But it requires everyone to stay in their homes and not shine any lights. You do learn that Blessed Wort is passed around in order to give some people something to give them warmth and light during these blackouts that seems to not produce the ire of this ominous force. Or perhaps is the very thing that protects them from this ominous force, as you've learned in your previous adventures of the abilities for it to keep people safe from the creeping undeath. So, eventually, you parted ways with Leon, who went to go and acquire you some axe beak mounts, potentially. Um, so you went to explore the Revel camp to find out what was going on there, and to see if you can meet with this Thalwyn figure, as you all had recently been visited by Ro, the devilish demigod, that is, in truth, the object of the revelry's worship, though they view him as just a celestial bard in the sky. So when you arrive at the Revel camp, you find that it has been converted into essentially kind of like a big top circus tent, except mingled with people living in those tents, staying in those tents, tending to each other, with a big band playing in the central courtyard alongside those celebrating, eating, and some having their wounds tended to. Here you meet Thalwyn. Now, Thalwyn is a Halcyonic elf, which means he comes from Kirin, or comes from the city-state of Halcyon, where Bruce is from as well. This species of elves, this heritage of elves, tend to be aloof and somewhat alien-like to other Allmen. They are tall and spindly and have this reddish-hued skin with these black eyes with red points at the center, or silver points at the center. They are just very alien to most folk, and they speak in a slowed tone, as if they're trying to slow themselves down to the other Allman races, given that they are very long-lived and live fast-paced lives. Thalwyn, to put it quite frankly, is a strange guy. Many red flags came up as you met with him, indicating that he might not represent exactly what he's saying, although on face value, he did nothing but offer you help. But given the recentness of your interactions with Ro, you might be hesitant to trust a cleric of his religion. He did introduce you, though, to someone who is not part of the Revel camp, but is just a traveling companion of his. Someone who has been north, who has been across the Gosu Highlands, and may be able to lead you through these parts to reach your destination. So, he introduced you to Baron, a human man, rather scrappy-looking ranger, who offered his services to you in exchange for protecting him as he gets to a particular area of the Gosu Highlands to harvest some blessed wort. So you have a mutual journey ahead of you. As part of this meeting, he promised to meet with you later on in your Bruce's magnificent tower to discuss some of the superstitions that the townsfolk refuse to discuss. So he brings along food and wine to your tower, where you've all gathered as the clouds begin to usher forth and flurries of snow begin. The hags of the Hags Hamlet hand out blessed wort and are able to give you some, with very strict guidelines to not light any other lights, only the blessed wort. So you bundle up in your tower. Baron arrives with food and wine, and he shares a little bit about himself and the superstitions. You learn that there's an entity known as the Herald, who is a harbinger, so to speak, of the creeping undeath. Atop an undead dragon he comes, though. And with that undead dragon and his essence, these brutal storms. The longer it's been since the previous blackout, the longer the blackouts tend to last. And as Fearin asks, Baron reveals that the last one was 6 months ago. So you're in for a doozy. But as you quickly shift to this more ominous state, Baron puts all the lights out quickly and pulls out a golden candle that he lights, revealing a small patinaed glow into the room. The shadows in the corners stare back at you as he encourages you to not let them in and to not let them ruin your merriment. The only thing that you can do is eat, be merry, share stories with each other, anything to fight the darkness. And this is where we left off. There are some other things you learn from him, like that he knows the name Peskos and Ladan, that he's seen iconography of Peskos, at least in the north, and that he's been to Samalto.
He called them Arden-bound gods.
But right now, you all sit around the table in the first story of Bruce's tower. There's no lights other than this golden patina in the room. There's wine, there's still food. Baron looks to all of your sullen faces. Just says, it's best not to linger on the shadows. Continue. Eat, talk, and we'll go faster if we make use of our time to support each other. I thank you again for letting me stay with you. Don't know if I'd survive it back to my own home.
I mean, it's a little cramped. I hope you like a twin bed bunk, but
I'd prefer a bunk than dying in the snow outside.
Iron and mana are many things, and hospitable is one of them. So please, make yourself comfortable. I think you can share a bunk with Fjern.
Gladly.
Fjern's just sitting on the floor right now, and he pulls out the manual that he's been reading and just ignores that comment completely.
I will also remind you all that Baron did indicate a reaction to learning of Saskia's patronage, and did indicate that he was aware somewhat of that sort of effect. But he looks around to you all and he says, "Don't let me disrupt what you already had planned for this evening."
Yeah. Well, you're pretty much looking at it. That's usually the case. We sit here quietly, doing our own little business.
It's not true. Sometimes we have some fun banter and,
He means bickering.
There's
tomato,
lots of
tomato.
bickering. No, but we were going to swap some stories. Yeah, we were going to get to know each other a little more. I feel like, we've had some stories here and there, but I don't know. We haven't all been together, so I thought it might be nice.
What are you talking about? We spent a month together on that damned island, Saskia. I learned everything I needed to know about you and Fjern in that first month.
First of all, fuck you. Second of all, I meant the whole group, Iron and Mana.
Oh, well, that's easy. Bruce is a nerd and Septimus is a weird nerd that likes machines.
So perhaps you'd like to go first, then. Jacquette, share something that the group doesn't know. And I give you a very pointed look saying, if you don't spill the beans, I'm gonna.
Please, I'm an open book. You all know everything you need to know about me, huh? Don't you? Come on, right, Bruce?
not everything.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I mean, like, we don't really know much about Gwynvlier, or, what your home life was like. I mean, we have an idea what it was like, based on little quips here and there, but, I don't know, like, seeing that relative of yours, or...
Not a relative.
Family friend, sorry.
There's no relation.
I saw your
otherwise.
I saw via my tremor sense your butt pecker a little bit. It's just that's the first time I've ever seen you. So usually you're not
I'm
very
sorry.
scared.
You've been observing my tuchus?
No, not all the time. It just it's a tell.
Jacquette straightens up a little bit and looks back at his butt like, huh, is that how people sometimes know when I'm bluffing? He files that away for later.
I mean, to be fair, he's pretty short. I don't know if he could always, see your face. I guess he can't really see much at all anyway.
No. Anyway,
yeah. How about we talk about that real quick? What's up with your eyes, Bruce? Like, was that a birth thing, or like, was it an accident in the construction yard?
Yeah, it was mostly it was an accident.
Oh, Jacques says, like, a little taken aback, like, not thinking that would actually be the case.
Yeah, I was just a dumb little idiot, not being monitored. And they were doing a job. My grandpa brought me to a job, and I wandered off to where they were using some magic to bind some material, and there was excess sparks, I don't know, of magic that hit my face, and they were able to recover my skin, but my eyes were never the same. And
did he help you make those glasses then?
He kind of did, and then Selena, she kind of improved upon them. But yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say. I was kind of a rich boy, but I was sheltered. I had to stay in my house. What?
It's very clear to me that you are sheltered. I'll say it's not very clear that you were a rich boy growing up. You had it well.
Well, what I meant to say is that, like, we had a lot of stuff. I had a lot of tools and gadgets inside our own Grampy and Grammy's home, but I didn't get out much.
So, and I'm sorry, I spaced out for a moment there. Were you raised by your grandparents?
Oh yeah. I don't really know my direct parents. Oh. From what I heard, my father's kind of a scumbag, and my mom, I don't know, went with him, so I guess she's kind of a scumbag too.
Sorry.
I know a thing or two about scumbag parents.
Yeah.
Well, hey, what about you, Fear? Do you have any daddy or mommy issues too?
I don't want to talk about this.
Come on, Fear, and we're all sharing. It's a safe space.
My parents were fine.
No. What about your brother? I feel like we're going set on this mission, don't know much about the person, aside from him being adopted to your family.
You people know more about me and my brother than anybody else on this continent.
Well, yeah. You're not from here, right? So, who would you have been sharing with?
Also, I'd hope so. We've been hanging out for, I don't know, how long now?
Like months?
2 months.
Yeah.
5 months? No, it's been a while.
It's been a while, guys.
It's been a while.
You're like
don't get me
4
started.
months away from like your 1 year anniversary. As a
What?
party.
Hey, Fear, I can't help but notice, and I could be completely wrong. It could be just that we're getting close to the end goal here, but you're being a bit more bitchy than you usually are. What's up?
What do you mean, what's up?
Like that. You're answering questions with questions. Your sentences are getting shorter and shorter. What's the matter?
See that, Jack? What? His butt bunkered right there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe it's just because people keep pressuring me to talk about my past, and it's not really point of my life that I really want to go back to.
It's fair.
Well, I feel like in order to move forward, you gotta observe the past, right? Especially if we're going into something that is directly related to your past. Well, actually, no, we're not going into that, but we might encounter it. You know.
So far,
helpful
we're dealing with cursed masks, spirits, and poxes upon the land. There's nothing to do with what I did in the past, why I'm here.
Well, it's not even just the past, Fear, and it's just you were so excited to come north and figure out what was going on with the mask, like, and now you're just you're not yourself. And coming from me, that's saying something.
The truth is, it's this mask, it always just reminded me of something. Old stories that my people would used to say, you know, and I don't know, it just felt that maybe if I could explore this, that there might be a chance that maybe someday I would see my brother again and we would find a way to go back home, you know, get rid of the shame.
So is it it sounds like, and please correct me if I'm wrong here, but it sounds like you're afraid to confront the future because it'll bring up your past.
I'm not afraid of the future. In fact, I welcome it. I just want to get on with my life. I know that I can't do anything about my past. So I need to do what I can to live my own life. Yet, I'm still honor bound. And it's frustrating. Because if it weren't for my code, I wouldn't be here.
So is this excursion to go figure out what's going on with the mask like the last piece so you can move past your past?
I don't think I'll ever move past my past. I'm required to.
By who? Whom? Who?
By the oaths I've made. By the code that I live by.
And are these magical oaths? Like, what happens if you break them?
I will never know, because I never will.
It's very honorable.
All oaths hold some kind of magic. Not always the kind that are difficult to break, but there's some sort of magic in those kinds of agreements. Always. But you're not wrong that you can't escape your past. None of us can.
It's true. I crossed half the world to get away from mine, and you saw it came following me.
Well, I actually, I think I did escape my past because I don't remember any of it.
Right.
Nothing.
How do you feel about that, Saskia? Like, have you had any like sort of like sparks of like, hey, that looks familiar, or?
There was one time when someone said Gwenvalier and something sounded vaguely familiar about that, but I couldn't place it. But not really, no. And to be honest, I'm getting kind of sick of it. It was great to begin with. Don't get me wrong. It was exactly what I wanted. I didn't remember anything. I don't know. I was this whole entirely new person, but I don't know. Recently, I'm just wondering what I left behind and if what I did was really worth it.
It's interesting that you say it was exactly what you wanted.
How do you mean?
You don't know what you wanted.
It felt
He's got
right.
a point.
She doesn't even know what she wants right now.
How? Excuse me. And what's
No, seriously.
exactly do you mean by that?
I mean that you have no idea who you were, what you used to do.
Right.
Sorry about the background noise.
But I
He's
know.
Red dragon makes a weird siren noise.
Yeah, right. The herald is tooting its horn outside.
I know what I want right now.
Are you sure?
I kind of have to agree with
Yeah.
Fionn on this. Because it seems like you want power from your patron, but then she asks you to do things, and then you get upset by it, right?
No.
No?
No.
So when she tells you to do something, you just do it because you like
I drank
the
the
arrangement.
water, haven't I?
Yes.
That's doing what she said.
But as I recall, the last time you drank some water, it had some unforeseen consequences that you were not too thrilled with.
Yeah.
Hmm? And since then, have you done anything she's asked of you?
She's been rather quiet, actually. We're very far from the water, so she's been quiet.
We're only 2 days from the sea. Is that really that far?
It's
How
fine.
how big of a body of water? Like, so is it just the ocean or the sea that she needs to be? You need to be near to talk to you.
You know what? I probably could talk to her right now.
Sass, you also realize that it's been entirely your like brute instincts that have even told you that. Like you don't even know if that's true, really.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she's the clearest when I'm on the water, or when I'm next to the water, like the ocean, the sea. I think, from my experience.
It's a lot of ifs and or buts.
You know, maybe I am trying to figure out what I want, who I want to be, who I was. There's a lot of... Wait, just sneeze. Excuse me. There's a lot of...
Iluvania, bless you. Everflame's
Fine.
blessing.
Machina. Save your soul.
In this house, we appreciate all divinity.
In
It's
the
got you.
artificer's house, you mean?
This is not your chapel, last I checked. Bruce, can you?
Yep.
Yep. What?
We don't do any magical or deity worship in our artificer's house.
Anyway, Saskia, sorry.
So what if I'm on a journey of self-discovery and rediscovery and discovery?
I'm just saying, you've been discovering yourself since we've met you. Have you figured anything out yet?
I already asked her this question. She's trying to figure it out. This will be a lifelong thing.
I mean,
you just figure it out overnight.
Unless her patron just decides one day, hey, here you go. Wait, it's your patron took your memories, right?
I think so. Yeah.
well, I've seen you be moral and want to do the right thing and help
moral.
people.
I do want to do the right thing and help people.
That's
I just want
good.
to say that morals are based on they're a societal construct, and they really don't. It comes up to
I
the individual
definitely
about
didn't
what
want to
defines
kill-
what is moral.
Those people, the
Yeah.
fucking bandits.
Right, some people say that murder is immoral, right?
I didn't
Lots
mean
of people.
it.
But if
Well,
you
yeah,
kill
this is
a bad
something
person,
if everybody just killed each other, right? Therefore,
You know what? It's somebody else's turn.
Hold on. Let's stop being so hard on Sass.
yeah.
Sass, I think I do. Well, if you don't know what you want, I think I do.
Oh,
I think you want security. And maybe that's not something that you wanted before you made your deal, but well, that's how at least I see it. You want power, whether it is for whatever reason beforehand to protect yourself. You want companionship or community.
I just don't want to be alone.
Mm.
you're not alone. Jacquet says, wildly gesturing to the room full of people.
Let me rephrase. I don't want to be lonely.
Well, that's on you.
He means don't push people away.
Wow, you're really good at this, Septimus.
Did you take any? Never mind.
Well then, what about you, Septimus? What do you want?
It was the exact same reason I just said about you. That's why I feel like I can sympathize.
Security,
Just
companionship,
security and family.
power.
I've told you about my upbringing.
Yeah.
I'm the scared little boy whose world was turned upside down from what he knew, who watched his family members died one by one, couldn't protect them. And so, after finding Sal and a new life and wanting to understand the world, and I found that in Machina. A desire to learn more, for I feel the more I know, the safer I'll be.
Yeah, that makes sense. More I
And
know,
you
the
just
safer I'll
initially
be.
just wanted to clear out these raccoons in your house.
It was so long ago.
Well, it was a few months ago.
All right, it feels like it was long ago. You know, Jacques,
Sure.
not everything
If-
needs a quip at the end of it.
No, but I think it adds a certain je ne sais quoi.
Doesn't je ne sais quoi just mean I don't know what?
The je ne sais pas.
Gesundheit.
I'm still waiting on your contribution here, friend.
What do you mean? I contributed that I had shitty parents. Boom, you solved me. That's why I'm this way. I'm acting out for attention. Okay, Dr. Shrink.
I just keep staring at you with a slight smile.
He grabs at his wine glass and makes an audible glug.
All right, what's your favorite memory, Jacquet, when you were a kid? How about that?
Favorite memory? There was this one time when my father came home. He would always be on these long excursions finding magic items. He was a magic item trader. And he brought me home. To this day, I still think it would be very cool to have a cape that would always billow.
Oh,
It didn't do anything else. It just billowed.
that's it.
But it always
his
made me
sole
feel,
purpose.
I don't know, powerful, seen. And I got it. Not my sister, not my brother, not my other brother, but Jacquet.
Were they all jealous? Is that what you took pride in, or?
No, they got other things, but mine was definitely the best. But at that point, I mean, Matthias was so much older than me, he didn't give a shit about what little Jackie, as he called me, got. And the
So was
things
it
he
all-
usually got were boring and, had to do with business. It was very clear from the start who was taking over the family business.
Were you jealous of that?
No, not really. There's a lot of
Insight check.
responsibility.
And so, is it perhaps you wanted to set out and make something of yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I went to university. That's where I picked up the bard skills. And, when that didn't really pan out too well, then I started hanging out with the seedy crowd. And then when that didn't turn out too well, it was just easier to leave.
How did you get away with hanging out with a seedy crowd with parents like that?
They never paid attention to me. Are you kidding me? My mother was happy if I wasn't in the house. That was good. If I wasn't home for a few days, that meant I wasn't there. Being a lazy bum, as she called it. And my father, busy with Matthias running the business.
is terrible.
Ah, no, it was fine. I always had the servants, they were fun to hang out with sometimes. That's how I ended up, meeting the seedy crowd. I would go out with them after they were done working in the kitchens. We'd go to the bar, down at the docks.
Did you underage drink? Is that?
Of course he fucking did. Look at him.
Oh, yeah.
The drinking laws in Domuzerum are fairly loose as is, but in the places I was going, no one was checking your age. And how could they? It's not like no one carries IDs on them.
Oh.
We don't live in a police state.
That sounds like a very halcyonic thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of laws which we had to follow in Halcyon.
Just seems like you gave up too early, though, Jaquette. I mean, don't you think your father would have respected you more if you gave a little bit more effort to, focus on the business? Even if Matthias was taking over, maybe you could show him that.
I went to university for him, and he didn't give a shit. Believe it or not, I did very good when I first started. And then when he just kept fucking off with Matthias and my older sister, whose name escapes me at this moment, going off on their adventures, getting their magic items, leaving me at home.
Well, why do you think that is?
Did you want to take over the business? Did you want to be Matthias?
Heza.
Yeah, Heza. And the other ones, I guess I probably should have pulled
Arnold.
Arnold, yeah.
And Ida.
Little Ida. Oh, little Ida. Don't even get me started. I haven't even brought her up yet, so you don't know about her. So don't mention her yet.
Is she a brat?
I said I haven't mentioned it yet.
Oh.
They're besties.
Oh.
So,
I don't know. Stop trying to psychoanalyze me. What the fuck is this?
I'm not trying to psychoanalyze you. I'm just saying that from what I heard, your parents were wealthy. They put you through a good education. You did well. And then, for some reason, they forgot all about you. And I just wanted to know why.
It's their dicks. Because all we were to them were pawns to be used to further their ambitions.
Well, maybe that's your lot in life. Maybe you were born to be a pawn.
Excuse me? Jaquette Touchard is nobody's pawn!
Hey.
I am my own man. Tabaxi.
I put
Did you think you owe your parents something, though? For all the stuff that they did for you?
I don't owe them shit.
Yeah, I mean... Oh, sorry, Saskia.
It's okay. I mean, I'll put my mug down, and I will reach across. I imagine Jaquette and I are sitting across from each other. Never next to each other. Never. And I'll just put a hand on his paw and just look him straight in his eyes and just say, I see you, Jaquette.
Yeah, no shit. We're like 2 feet away.
No, fucking listen to me. I see you.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to do. I'm trying to
fucking shut up and let me be nice to you.
If only I was a monk, I could deflect, miss.
You didn't throw my hand at you. I see you for the brilliant minds that you are, the strategizer, the one that always has the last say and gets us what we need. You're looking out for us, even if you don't think you are, even if you think you're just in it for yourself. I see you. I think we all do. Yes? Looking around at everybody else.
I mean, yeah, you're rough around the edges, but yeah, exactly what Saskia said.
Put your goggles on, then it'll come to focus more.
Ah.
He may make some weird decisions at times, but I believe he has our best intentions at heart.
At this point, Jacques Touchard and Iron and Mana is pretty much unseparatable. So my renown rests on the renown of this team. So of course, I'm gonna do what's best for Iron and Mana.
Huh.
Right.
And did you ever think you were gonna be with a group again? I knew the shady fellows that you were with, but or did you think you were gonna come here to?
No, him being here is entirely mine and Fearn's fault.
Oh, right.
Nope.
Oh, so you're finally recognizing that now?
Of
Not me.
course. Yeah, of course.
I meant like traveling in a group versus taking advantage of everybody he sees.
I don't take advantage of everybody I see.
It sounds like he might not see much difference in those two things.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, Baron, who asked for your input here?
I'm sorry, I'm a guest here. I'm just... There's a lot that this fellowship is projecting right now. I'll keep my
Jacques
mouth
just
shut
kinda
till
gives
I'm
him-
spoken to.
Chakra just gives him a little side glare.
I really should upgrade this place to be a little bit bigger.
Please.
You can do that.
Not right now. I mean, I need to get more materials. You know, it's a whole thing. Possible.
Yeah.
I just gotta.
Look, we're going to be spending the next who knows how many days confined in here. So let's just enjoy it. Have a good time. If you have to fart, please go upstairs.
Oh, I didn't provide any ventilation upstairs.
Are you fucking... Then we're going to die. Where's
Well, it's
the...
cold out. I didn't.
Where does the fresh air come from? I don't want to be breathing in your stink.
That's what the bathroom upstairs for. So you don't stink when you come downstairs.
No, but he's saying how we get fresh air. We're gonna run out of oxygen if that exists in this world.
Oh well.
Jen, what's that?
There should be some. I'm pretty sure I put like a little enchantment in here for like there's a humidity controller over here and
There's a little
over
ventilation
there's-
fan.
Yeah.
Ooh, just always a low hum.
As his light fixture flickers. It's off.
That's right. Damn it! I gotta fix that.
Well, not to continue adding, as he looks to Aaron looks to Jacques. But from what you've all said, there is a concurrent theme of desire for security and power. And I suppose all I'll say, which I'm sure many have said to each of you, is what terrible things can be brought in with such desires, even for good. He'll look at you, Sass.
All right, Baron, I need you to lay your fucking cards on the table here. You've been looking
Wait.
at me anytime there's some sort of inkling or mention of my pact. And what the fuck do you know about warlocks or about my situation? No cryptic shit.
I'm just simply trying to point out the obvious. You, from what your friends have said, you're struggling with this. You're struggling with this pact you have. You've lost your memories. Perhaps that is what you wanted in your previous life. Perhaps you wanted a new life. But I can't help but see someone trapped. And the reason I can see that is that I've been there before myself.
Really? You've had a patron? You had a deal or a pact?
At a time, yes.
What did you make it for?
Power and security.
How did you get out of it?
And he you can see on his face, no insight check needed, that he's like, I shouldn't have said anything. It's like the face he's making.
Too deep now, buddy.
As he immediately like stabs some meat on his plate and just sort of holds it up and then chomps on it really quickly. I made the pacts I made a long time ago to avenge, just take out justice on someone else. And I'll tell you now, that fruit is bitter. Through great hardship and suffering, and acts which one would not be proud of, I've escaped my chains.
Did you fulfill what you were after? Did you enact that revenge or justice?
And there's a very serious, stoic face, and he sort of stares into the candle in the middle of the room as you ask that. No. I never got my vengeance. But I re-devoted my life.
Did you just ignore what whoever you made to deal with wanted? Until
No.
you couldn't hear him anymore?
No. No.
And
That
what
will
did you
never
do?
work.
How does it not plague you anymore? Seth's completely forgotten that anybody else is in the room right now.
It will never not plague you. But you can escape. Like I said to your friends, and your friends said astutely, you can't escape your past, even if you can't remember it. It will bubble up. Something will happen. But you can choose your future. Take your lot that you have drawn upon your birth or rebirth and make some bright future. Sometimes that involves setting down roots. And I've established quite firm roots here. It grounds me. But I escaped that devil. And that is something that does not grieve me. And my life is not what I expected. And I can never really return home. But I'm happy staying here, even in this cursed place.
Tell me, did Thalwyn happen to help you with your predicament? Is that why you're so loyal to him?
Thalwyn found me after I escaped my pact. Trapped in the woods. Powerless. I do owe that man my life. But no, I found my freedom my own way. I'm only meant to guide you to Smalto. But as Jacquette said, we'll be spending some time together. Perhaps we could talk more about that on our journeys. Saskia.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like that.
Perhaps you might even remember a few things.
And then I can decide if I want to remember the rest of it.
Is there anything you can fathom? The only thing, Sass, that you've ever had was a very tiny thing, which was the time you envisioned a young girl being bullied. That your patron sort of maybe taunted you with or teased right before she was like, give up that life, seize the future. You're not that little girl anymore, basically was what your patron was saying to you. That's the only memory you've ever seen.
It's all completely lost except for this one echo of a little girl. Pretty sure it was me. Being taunted by the other children, bullied, teased, made fun of, left alone. I don't know why. That's it. That's all I know.
There's that as you say that, and there maybe is a moment of silence in the room, that you all feel the house shake. As if something large has just blown overhead. Despite that commotion and maybe everyone looking around a bit, Saskia, Baron looks you right in the eyes through it as you say that. And the light of the candle flickers and it almost goes dark for a moment, and then everything's dim, and then the candle comes back up, and he's just looking to you with this, uplifted eyebrows, concern. And he just says, "That's where the darkness finds you."
When you dwell in it.
When you're weak. He refers to you being bullied, potentially, in your memories. But then you hear the roaring outside. Ghastly, echoing in a strange way with this trill that comes afterwards. Is again that light, the candle dims, and then comes back on. Golden candle. And even as it dims and comes back on, Baron has completely changed his perspective. He's completely gone back to his very casual, sloppy ranger as he just starts shoving potatoes in his mouth and gulping wine. What would y'all like to do?
So I do have one more thing while we're all here. And we've kind of... When we get back to Hyven, what is our goal as Iron Man? Is it to gain more popularity, or just to remain secure within each other?
I think we got to focus on the task at hand for now. When we get back to Hyven, who knows what it's going to be like. We didn't exactly leave it in, the best of conditions.
I'm not talking about Hyven. I'm talking about us, Iron and Mana. What's our goal? Does anybody have an idea? I know Jacquette kind of has an idea of what he sees in this group, but what about the rest of you?
Well, what do you want?
I don't really know what I want. I kind of wanted to just explore, leave my house, leave Halcyon. I'm getting that. I just just kind of want to be on the same page and make sure there's no conflicting ideas.
Well, once this mass business is out of the way, I suppose what I want is just to be successful, do what's right. People will give you respect, seeing that you make money and you help people. Eventually, your reputation will grow and you'll gain more power. And
So you want
I don't
to
know
make
where it goes
money
from that.
and reputation. That's what I'm asking for.
I suppose I want to live the way I see fit, and I don't want other people pushing me around. So, I mean, we've been working around well together so far, and I suppose if we go back there, we'll be a lot richer. So maybe we can make more of a difference.
All right. So you want money?
Sure.
I mean, on that point, I'd agree with Fjern. We can do a lot of good together, which is not something I thought I would say 4.5 months ago. I mean, you've seen the state of Hyven. It's abysmal. I mean, it's not abysmal, but it's bad. And the Commodore, she's not bad, but something's not right. And I mean, there's no guards. There's no one there protecting anyone. And you've got Mr. Greaves and his whole syndicate doing their nefarious bullshit.
I mean, a large force can just enter the harbor at any time and, completely change the atmosphere of Hyven. It needs more order, more structure.
Maybe not exactly that, but it needs something.
Right. So now you're talking, getting involved politically in Hyven. I mean, that's what we've been doing. This is what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, the way I see it now, we're pretty damn good at what we do, each of us individually and together. So when we get back, we now have the funds to do exactly what we want. I've been going around performing at all these different taverns, and maybe it's time I make my own fucking tavern. It's not presenting Jackie Touche. It is Jackie's tavern. Jackie's corner.
Jackie's Touche?
The Touche Tavern.
Sounds like a roguish bastion, one could say.
I do like that idea, actually. That sounds nice to have roots. Looking at Baron.
Host of my own fight night.
Exactly. See?
We could dance.
If we want
Yeah.
to.
We can leave our
Leave
friends
friends
behind. Jinx.
I've heard that tune before, I think.
We could have a VIP section and we could not invite anybody up there.
Oh,
Just each
sorry.
us.
I think you guys are getting confused. This is my tavern. You guys can do your own thing, though.
That's fun.
And attach them to it, and it'll, and there's mechanics for that.
Are you
Hyven's
joking?
my
Please
home.
tell me you're joking.
We'll talk about it later.
Well, it sounds as though all any of you ever really wanted was to find your own place in the world.
Yeah, I guess if you want to, sum it all up.
I'm sorry. Once again, I started summating your feelings, please.
Right? No, it's good, for anyone that wants to understand what we're saying without really cutting to the point.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like an oversimplification for me, but, whatever.
So acquiring
Jacques,
money and renown in order to find your purpose in the world. It sounds exactly like what you're looking for. Same thing with you,
Well-
Jacquette. You fled from having everything in the world, and now you are looking for a lot of land and self for your own here.
Right.
Saskia literally needs to find her way. Bruce is kind of just having a vacation, it sounds like. Rather dramatic one at that, but
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
I
Septimus,
know
with
where I'm
your-
supposed to be. I know where my place in the world is, and can't go back there. Never again.
So you need to find a new one.
But it's never going to be there.
I can understand that. I haven't been back to Ezra in a long time. And it won't be the same if I ever go back.
Usually how things work. Time comes and changes everything.
Long time.
Well, it seems you've come to this place for redemption, helping others. I'm sure in some time, maybe you can find the courage to go back once you feel like you've made things right.
I don't even know if they're still there, really. Home. But it sounds as though all of you are making yourselves a fine home back in Hyven.
It's true. Yeah, of all places, that shithole.
Hmm.
I say lovingly.
No, it is a shithole.
I gotta say, this is a shittier one.
You're not wrong, but there's something more respectable about the people here.
So,
No, he immediately goes, no offense, none of you are actually from Hyven, but, I mean,
we might
he
as
gets,
well
he
be.
gets
It's
really flustered there.
stares at Septimus.
Well, he doesn't know that you're not from there.
It's
I'm just saying, it's not exactly
the
the
Esha.
jewel of Ezra.
It's not. It's not the home that I remember growing up in.
Where in Ezra did you grow up?
I got it. Just give me 2 seconds. It wasn't in Hyven itself.
The jewel of Asia.
No, but a couple days travel in the farmlands of Frukivo, the Field of Spirit.
I once called a village called Kiri home. Close to the waters in the south. Yes, the waters in the south. Blue as the sky. My father was a sailor in the old Armada. High rank, yes. Many raids before the Union under Saipodgen. My mother. Ages ago. Distant, gone. The dark night is full of happier memories. So eat, drink, continue sharing in your fond memories. Feed the candle. We'll make it through. We'll make it through just fine.
And on the other side, we take the Herald down. Anyone know anything about killing undead dragons? We should probably talk about that.
It's like as you say that, you just hear the outside.
So-
You can
Based on my experience with killing things, which is not much, I feel like the best solution is just to blow it up.
That seems to be your response to most issues you come across. I've
It's just
seen.
Has he
very
been
effective.
wrong? Exactly.
I feel like you're going to need quite a bit of explosive to take down such a
And
creature.
Bruce, and when Septimus says that, Bruce like reaches into his bag and is like, "Yeah, check out this puppy."
What is it?
And it's just like the size of Bruce's torso. It's another explosive, but it looks a little bit bigger than the one he pulled out when you guys were in the sewers.
By the Everflame, where do you find these things, Bruce?
Where? Yeah, how did you come across this?
I didn't come across it. I made it.
You guys can see like of the like metals and contraptions that Bruce is like welded together. Like you can see like the parts of things you've killed that were machine based. You see like armor of things that he's scrapped together. You can clearly see one of the legs of the robot spiders that you killed in the arena on it. Like Bruce waste not, want not is it could be Bruce's whole thesis, but it is clearly an amalgam of just like parts you guys have gathered over time.
Wait, so now we're trying to kill this thing? I thought we were hiding in here to avoid it.
I think your intention is not to kill it tonight, but it sounded
Right.
like Jacques was interested in taking it down when you get to Samolta. It is its hunting grounds. Its territory, its lair.
Okay.
When it comes south, the Herald
Yes,
rides.
Bruce, your eyes were getting drowsy when I told you all that.
Yeah. Sorry, I was dreaming of my youth.
Right, so when the Herald comes south, he rides his mount, and the storm comes with him. But I'm sure they separate at some point, and maybe then there's not a storm to deal with, you know? If we take one down and then the other, maybe that's a little more feasible. You know?
Perhaps if we take out one, we take out both.
Or is it going to be like
This
an
weekend.
Ornstein and Smoke situation where you take out one and the other one gets stronger? You ever read that story?
The what?
Yeah, the story
it's
of Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Yes, of course.
I think no matter what, if you take out the dragon, the Herald will not be as tough. Or if you take out the Herald, the dragon will not be as tough, because there'll be no Herald and no dragon.
Before we get too ahead of ourselves, I think we should know more about this being. So, if there's anything more you could tell us, rumors, legends, myth, whatever, anything could be revealing as to what this is.
Weaknesses, you know, like maybe.
And you don't have to go into
mother.
like detail right now, but like if you can't obviously, but like we're gonna be spending a prolonged period of time together.
Sorry, guys, I was
so-
about to go into detail, but then Mike said you don't have to do that.
Could
You're welcome,
we
guys.
try and rest first, and then maybe regroup in the morning?
There's much
Sure.
I can share with you on the days ahead, and on our travels north.
Right. I'd like to know more about Samolto as well.
Yes. Well,
Wait. Oh, I do want to revisit Jack Qued's question. How are we going to take down this dragon? I know I just blatantly said we could blow it up, but there's a lot of logistics that need to be involved to make that happen.
They literally just said we need to know more about it.
I understand that, but I was going to ask other questions, like, regardless of, you know, knowing more about it, what's in our toolkit to make something like that happen? What's in our toolkit to take down a dragon is what I'm trying to say.
well,
I've got this big old mace.
in my younger days, I had the pleasure of fighting a dragon once. Not as big as this, but the thing to fear most is when they fly.
which is like all the time, right?
So maybe we find a way to keep it grounded.
Your best chance is to keep any dragon grounded in order to take it out. Though they are dangerous then as well, and can prove desperate when they are trapped like that.
Yes, we've learned that staying spread apart for any breath that they might, blow at you is a
And
wise
always watch
strategy.
the tail. Everyone forgets about the tail. Granted, I fought a young dragon. It was nowhere near what you're proposing to encounter.
I mean, we have too.
What
We
size
fought a
creature
wyvern.
is considered to be the dragon?
What'd you say?
Same thing.
What size creature?
This dragon is well. Look out the window.
I can't.
He
It's
did make a
gargantuan.
window.
Oh, thank you.
And beyond fathomable in the gargantuan that's probably in your head right now, Bruce. It's large, incredibly large.
At least 20 by 20 by 20.
At least 20 by 20 by 20 in the well-known Ranger's Guide of Creature Sizes. That, of course, me as a ranger knows quite well. Gargantuan creature, 20 by 20 by 20. But this one is definitely bigger than that.
25 by 25 by 25?
Maybe.
Oh.
30 by 30 by 30 would be. He actually says that. Jack went. All I'm saying is you are right, Bruce, that you should have a strategy before you could take on this dragon. Your best bet is to clip its wings in some way. So it can't escape, 1. And 2, so it can't rain the undead flames down upon you from a safe height.
Ah, undead flames. Wonderful.
Well, yeah. Okay. So we need to find more information, maybe about like what it wants, what it's like, what it's existing for. Does it eat anything? Can I attach a bomb to a pig and,
It's. I will say, I'll share more information, but I am also not, by any means. Although I don't think anyone is really an expert on this dragon, and this herald, and this creeping death. But it is not a normal dragon. It is not a beast, even magical as dragons are. It is not driven by a desire to just feed and satiate its material needs. No. There's a different type of hunger. And I imagine it's akin to the creeping rot, or creeping death of the north, which consumes the living and keeps their souls from anywhere beyond.
Do you think this... You say it brings the storm, but do you think it also brings the creeping death? Would defeating such a monster maybe cleanse the land in some way?
That's the herald, I think, is the one we assume associated with the death.
Yes. The herald comes from the north. The herald rides the dragon from the glacier lands, where the creeping death comes from. I would be surprised if the herald is not something associated with this plague. So, killing it or banishing it, whatever, removing it looks like would do well for the safety of the people here and the expansion of these lands, and perhaps even the return to Smolta for these people.
Have you ever heard this herald speak? Has it ever said anything or done anything besides kill your townspeople?
No. It is not omen in mind. It is not something that can be bartered with. The creeping death consumes. to whatever its ends are. If it even has ends. Some things just burn. Godless. This settlement will endure. You've already done much to help them. You're clearing the southeastern road. Is by no means part of our agreement for you to be risking your lives to destroy this dragon and the Herald.
Oh, we know. Bet it'll look great on our resume.
Renown.
And hey, like Fearn said, and I followed up on, if you want to be a part of that, we're always happy to make friends.
And he finishes his food and finishes his cup of wine. Well, we'll see if I can keep up with iron and mana.
Yeah, we've got big shoes to fill.
Priority now is trying to remove that mask from fear and finding that temple
Gesundheit.
and saving his
It's
brother.
fucking dusty in here.
We'll lay low from the dragon and the herald in the meantime.
I suggest burning a small lantern of the blessed wort where we are sleeping tonight.
You don't trust the safety of my tower?
And it's like, as you say that, as if the environment is responding to your pride there, Bruce, the golden candle he's lit flickers, and it goes dark for a moment and then comes back.
Ooh.
Oh, all right.
And Baron just stares at you, and he does smile, and then kind of just like very nervously like looks upward, scanning the ceiling, as if he's saying like, yeah, Bruce, I trust you, but let's just do this anyway. is what his face is saying. No harm in a little bit of extra protection in the dark, right?
Yeah, of course. Any sort of risk averting actions are greatly appreciated.
And it's like as he says that, even as he's like says the dark, like it almost feels like the air is sucked out of the room for a moment. As like just sort of if you look around, just sort of the corners of the room where that shadow is, just feel like they're almost pulling the warmth from your bodies, even in this climate controlled area. And you can help but basically all shadows, even to you, Sass, with your magic vision, and even with everyone's dark vision, they look like when you go down to your basement to grab something for your parents and then have to run back up because you look too deep into the shadows of the corner. So everyone feels like there's a shadow clinging to their backs in that same way, something that weighs heavy on your shoulders. And you've all fought literal shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just waiting for the blessed wort and the golden candle to go out in order to rip you to shreds.
Suppose we should take watch.
Well, I think he says as long as we keep the blessed word burned, we should remain safe.
I agree, Finn. I'll keep the first watch if you wish to take the second.
Very well.
And he looks back to Bruce. No reason not to keep our precautions high.
Yeah, of course.
Though I appreciate your optimism, Septimus.
Before nighttime, Fearn is going to lean up to Sass and say, could you do that thing that you do and check up on my brother again?
Sure. Yeah. Well, actually, before I say that, let me make sure that I can. Yeah, I can. I don't remember how we did it last time. Do you have something of his that I can hold, borrow?
I believe I used the old maps that I got from my background. They're old maps of the North that I believe we shared
Yeah, you
when
used
we were
that, but
traveling together.
you may have also used something else, though, I think.
Is it like a...
I feel like you had
maybe
like
a hand axe or something.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you
that
had
sounds
like a
right.
weapon of his, or like one of your
Uh-huh.
furs was his originally.
Yeah.
But we can count all of it as a possession or garment that will help the modifier.
Right.
And then also Saskia,
Mm-hmm.
they are secondhand to you.
Right. So it's going to be a +1 for them.
I mean, if you want to get specific, all of my original equipment was the clan's equipment, so as much as mine as his.
Every time I go to look up a spell in D&D Beyond, I accidentally type 5e next to the name and nothing comes up. So
I have it up. If
I
you
was
need it.
also looking at the legacy scry. Second hand, you've heard of the target. +5 to target makes a wisdom saving throw, which is modified by how well you know the target and the sort of physical connection you have to it. So he has a +5 modifier because you don't have firsthand or extensive knowledge of him. But then it's -4, so it's +1, like you said.
Yep.
Because
Can you argue that she'd successfully done it before, so she knows exactly what he looks like?
No, because firsthand specifically says met
Like
the target.
in person.
And then extensive is where you've met and spoken to and know the target.
So I could, any of you, I could scry on.
Yeah, you could scry and you'd have a pretty
Extensive.
significant chance at getting them. Yeah, it's pretty much the same as it used to be, the old legacy one. Okay. All right, so he has to make a wisdom saving throw, which is +1 and plus whatever his wisdom modifier is. And what's your DC?
18.
Oh, geez. Okay.
What were you trying to do again?
Scry on his brother.
Saskia, you trying to remember exactly how I described this last time. You sit, I imagine, crisscrossed, and have essentially like you hold your hands out and it forms this font of water that you can look into and usually see your scry through your scrying eye. Sort of this floating disc of water that's formed of seawater, even though you're 2 days from the sea.
That's cool.
It fluctuates with this turquoise green light. And you stare into the murky seawater. Stare and stare, stare, and there's a vague shape that forms before the water washes away, and it just literally falls out of the air and just splashes into your lap because he succeeded on his saving throw.
Got it. I'm sorry, Fearn. I think he's all right. I saw a figure, but I couldn't see much else. Do you want me to try again?
But he's alive.
I think so. Yeah, I saw a figure. Yeah.
I will say, Sass, that if someone succeeds on a scry, you can't scry in them for 24 hours.
Never mind. I can't try again.
I guess that'll have to do. Thanks
Try again
anyway.
tomorrow.
Maybe.
Happy to.
Sure.
Yeah, and I'll just hand the axe back.
I take it and, pack it away. Let's get some rest.
Yeah. Night.
Nighty night. Don't let the undeath bite. Jacquet says from already under the covers.
As the house shakes a little bit.
Oh.
Sean, I do have one thing that I want to do before I go to sleep.
Sure. What would you like to do?
I would like, once everybody seems to be drifting off.
The only person not drifting off is Baron, because he's on first watch. So you can see he's just sort of in the corner, like shoved like a pillow he borrowed from Bruce into the corner, and he's just sitting upright. He like has his eyes closed, but then every now and then just opens them and scans the room.
Yeah.
But very much, Aragorn in the corner with his hood up mode.
There's your one. I
already said fellowship earlier.
All right, so then I will turn my back on him and kind of pull blanket over my head. And I'll hold my necklace in my hand, and I would like to cast Contact Other Plane.
Okay, you do get one cast of this a day where you don't have to suffer the saving throw and risk going a little bit crazy. So, Sass, what does this look like? There's no need for it to be flashy. It can be just you speaking as you clasp onto it.
Yeah, I imagine as I'm holding my necklace and my eyes are closed, maybe some seaweed kind of grows out of the necklace and just kind of like holds my hand there. Bless you,
Septimus
Michael.
sneezes in his sleep.
Yeah. I have to start over.
It's dusty in here.
And then I just start with well, it's been a little while. I had some questions for you. After some reflection, both internally and externally. I guess I'll just get right to it then. First one, is there perhaps any way that me and you, could be friends, acquaintances, without this agreement between us?
You feel the seaweed does kind of like slowly like wrap around your hands, and the seaweed moves like the tentacles of an octopus. So you can see little like curls and twists as if it's muscular, even though it's a plant.
Like it's in the water?
Exactly, yeah. Like the way you would see an octopus kind of contort its body. As you can see some of the seaweed coming up, and you would just hear very, almost like the wind on the seas, the sounds of waves crashing. There's just sort of this maybe. Which is not a no.
Which is not a no.
That's a very like personal question in a way that the patron could respond just like personally, as opposed to it being like something they know or don't know. It's just sort of like maybe. Yeah. If one of us stops being such a bee.
All right. Well, then, kind of similarly,
It's your first question. You got 4 more.
I have them all written down, don't worry.
Okay, good.
Do you have some sort of end goal for me? Like, is there a time when... No, that's 2 questions. Do you have some sort of end goal?
Again, like the waves of the sea. Yes.
Okay. Somewhat comforting, I guess. Will I ever remember my past?
This one takes a while for you to respond, for them to respond to. And the tentacles kind of tighten on your hand. It does feel like she's squeezing your hand in that moment, almost to prepare you for the answer. Irrelevant.
Let me rephrase then, to make it a little more relevant. Will you let me remember my past?
Never.
Will you at least give me back one memory? Please.
And the way the seaweed kind of grips your wrist and your hand is very much so like it is. You can tell she's meaning to comfort you, but she once again says, "Never."
That was 5.
It makes you think of everything she's ever said to you. Even in her distance now. Whatever her machinations are, she's always stood firm. That she is not a pathway backwards. And you've given her great power. In hyphen. Perhaps that explains her absence. Whatever her plan is, you have contributed. And she will not let you go home. And she will not let you go back. It is not through her that you'll find your old life.
Right. I'll kind of like yank my hands away then and just pout.
The seaweed vanishes into seawater. The light of your pearl dims. And you, in this, maybe you turn and, like earlier, Aaron is just watching. He doesn't have a stern look or judgment on his face. If anything, it's the same look you saw when he said that weakness is where the darkness finds you. That concerned look. It's not quite pity in the sense that he looks at you pathetically. It is pity.
I'll turn over, put my back to him again, and just try and fall asleep.
Anyone still awake or trying to fall asleep would at some point just sort of hear a soft humming from Baron some old Aldhalor tune before the night takes you. Eventually, he himself goes back to sleep as Fearin takes the second watch, but this night goes without disturbance of the tower itself. Just the occasional shaking of the tower. And some of you may wake at certain points to the sounds of the dragon above, or the creaking of the house. As outside, snow flurries over the entire settlement in layers, layers, burying homes. The dark sky showing no starlight, not even a strangled light. Just the gliding of a large, half-spectral, half-bone dragon with an almond-shaped person on the back. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is over the night, right? Yeah. This is not okay. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. And as you all find your rest for the evening, I think we're going to take a short break. All right, we will be back shortly, folks, wherever you are. We'll see you all. I will see you all soon. They will also see you all soon. Welcome back, everybody, to Adrift in Aldhalor. Shannon had to step out just because she's feeling a little sick tonight, so we're giving her an early bedtime. So we wish her well, and we'll see her next week. But the rest of you are still here. So for now, the first night of this blackout blizzard passes, perhaps with tenuous sleep, but sleep nonetheless, as you get your long rest. And it's actually like really, I imagine, like uncomfortable when you wake up because your bodies are not responding to like the sun rising or light creeping in from a window. It's just still dark. And you can still, you just sort of wake up groggily some hours later. As you wake up, it is still rickety sounding. Like there is still the storm bursting outside. The doors, the front door is sort of like shaking as it's been taking the damage of the blizzard all night. It's not by any means like broken or coming off its hinges. It's just, it's taken a fair beating over the night. And you can kind of see a little bit of like perspiration or condensation on it as the climate control of the tower spell continuously melts the ice that is forming on the door. But you all kind of wake up in this cramped space, still feeling and hearing the sounds of the blizzard outside. What would you like to do?
I wake up and I continue to read the book, Sean.
Okay.
How many hours did you have locked in now?
Let me check the old character sheety. Not including last night. I am currently at 12 hours out of 48.
Last night you would have been able to get I would say 6 hours because you would have been able to read it while you were doing your watch.
Nice. Okay.
And then we'll say you got 2 hours in between conversations in the evening.
All right, so I'm at
so
20.
6 total.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, Fearn.
Yeah.
I see you're still reading that book over there. I got when I was identifying a bunch of these potions, I got one Where the fuck is it?
Like a speed reading potion?
No.
That'd be pretty cool.
Where is it? I thought I had one where you could. Oh, so here it's called the Sentinel's Potion. It allows you not to sleep for 4 days, but after those 4 days, you have to sleep for a 1d4 days. So if you want to bang all this reading all at once and just pull up four all-nighters, you can take this. But then you have to sleep for 1d4 days.
I don't know if this is going to take me that long to go through.
I'm just giving you the option. That's all. If you want it, I got it.
That might be more useful if we're in a more dangerous situation.
A more dangerous situation?
Yeah,
Probably a less dangerous situation. Because you'll be sleeping for 1d4 days, but that's a liability.
Yeah, but who knows where we're gonna be 4 days from now.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you. Just if you wanted
That's an idea.
Yeah, like if we have to, if it's either if I fall asleep or die, I would rather that's when I would want to take that potion. You know what I mean?
You never know. You
Or
might
no.
only sleep for 1 day. Or
Right.
4.
Or 4.
Oh no, but I mean, it's you still stay up for the 4 days, though, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Which would get you, with those 8 hours, would get you 32 hours.
Well, I mean, if I go to sleep early, can I automatically start the effect?
If you go to sleep early, what do you mean?
Yeah, like say I finished the book after one night, can I
No.
go to sleep on the second night?
No, you biologically
cancel out?
cannot sleep for 4 days, and then your body catches up to you, and you will sleep for 1 to 4 days.
I mean, if you don't mind dragging me around for the day, I suppose I'll take it.
No, we do. How's the weather outside?
There are no windows to look.
Yeah, well...
No, there's the one that I
Oh, there
specifically
is?
requested.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacquette goes upstairs to peek out the one window that is heavily curtained.
Yes. You can't see anything because it is covered in snow.
Oh, it's really snowy out.
How many feet is it out there?
No, I mean like it's literally just accumulated on the window to the point where you can't really see.
Okay.
You can see like Jacquette, you see it and you have to kind of stare at
Yeah.
the tips of it, and it's just white out basically of snow.
What about when we open the front door? Or what can I see with tremor sense?
Snow.
No.
Yeah, but how high?
It's actually a good question. I'm trying to remember how okay, that's how I did it. Okay. So let's do this. We're gonna calculate it.
I'm scared.
You should be.
Don't be scared.
Okay.
God, I actually have to write this down. So I just realized how many. Okay, so it's 5. Whew, it's gonna be a lot.
I mean, 3 feet is a lot.
It's more than that if it covered the freaking door.
Yeah, and yeah, it's way taller than Bruce. Back in my kobold days, we used to dig tunnels through everything.
No, shush.
How old is Bruce?
Bruce
12.
is 23.
It's 12.
1,000.
23,000, yes.
Okay, so this all started at that point. Okay. So
over the last 10 hours, it has accumulated 6.5 feet of snow.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Hey, the snow out there is taller than most of us.
Not me.
How tall is Septimus?
6'2".
Oh, damn.
It's 6.5 feet tall.
No. Couldn't let me have
When he
this.
steps on his tippy toes.
Did I mention
Yeah.
that Fearn is 8 feet tall?
Yeah, we knew that. Shush.
Standing on his
it's
tail.
not taller than Sal. Isn't Sal like 7 feet tall?
Yeah, sounds pretty big.
Yeah.
So wait, is it over or is it just
Well,
checking?
I was gonna check, but
It is not over.
Okay, so yeah, we're pretty hunkered down in here. So why don't we close the door
all right.
and yeah.
Hey,
Even
Fear,
once it's over, it'll probably be a few days before it's feasible to travel. So let's assume that it's gonna be a while.
Sean, can I do my weather check?
Mm-hmm.
What's the forecast?
Blizzard. All blizzard. It's just raging orb of snow that you see with your druid craft.
Well, it looks like it's not getting better anytime soon. At
And,
this
like, the-
point, they
the
might
wi-
have to
the-
rebuild on top of this.
The winds are so strong, and you'll notice this, Bruce, that like yes, the snow's accumulating, but the winds are also so strong that it's like blowing the snow and creating it's not like blowing it away down to the ground, but it's like this is all accumulating wherever it is up against something. So like your house, your tower is like gathering snow in its crevices with the strong winds, where around you it's 6.5 feet, but there might be areas where it's not as deep.
got it. Okay.
So you're not sure if that is exactly like, oh, there's literally just a blanket of 6.5 feet across the entire town, or if that's just how much snow is accumulated against your tower.
Got it. Well, I guess we're sitting in here. Does anybody need anything? Food? And we've got plenty of water around us.
Well, if you need anything, I can always attempt to venture out. During the day, it's still dangerous, but the herald is not as active.
I can't imagine we need anything right now. I think we got some provisions before we rested.
Yeah. think
I
we're
have more
okay.
food that I brought as well. It's not hot meal like I brought last night, but I figured you might need some more
It's all right. We can
bread
whip it. We
and
can
fresher supplies.
heat it up as like Bruce like throws down a plate and casts heat metal on it.
Baron, is there anything you recommend us do before we carry on another adventure? If you're joining us, we want you to be prepared.
I will usually before I head north, I will usually stop at the Hag's hamlet to acquire some medicines, potions, any gear that I might need. They make some of the finest survival gear in the Nordrock camp. Folk from there, their families come from the far north that was cold even before the magical winter.
I believe we might be getting some mounts from the Grave camp. It'd be worth looking into that as well.
Diadrin does have access to some of the best axe beaks in the village. Or in the town. Especially when there's been snow like this, they're really very effective at traversing the difficult terrain of the north.
Good. We'll be sure to stock up.
Can be difficult animals to handle, but if they're from Diadrin's lot, they're usually a little more amenable to new riders. You will have much experience riding mounts.
I am assuming not axe beaks, but horses.
I'm used to riding in a carriage that's being pulled by a horse.
I suppose that's halfway there. There are also dog sleds, if that would be your preference, to be pulled. A lot more mouths to feed, though.
True. I do like being pulled.
You're all on these like cool axe beaks, and Jacquette's in the back with like 6 dogs pulling a sled that he's in.
And it's just like the sled just has like a throne that he's lounging in.
Hey, leaning to one side, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's hired a villager to actually drive the sled.
And he trained another dog to just sit there and feed him figs.
Yeah, and he actually had to hire twice as many dogs to pull it because of the throne he installed.
I saw some creatures, some reindeer on the way in. Has anyone ever thought of
Those were
using-
reindeer. Those were sun elk.
No.
I reject your statement.
No end.
Yes.
But, you know-
Go ahead.
They might be able to be used as mounts or something along those lines. Maybe pull a sled.
The hags have attempted to commune with those fauna before. And they're too wild, their spirits too free. The Gosu fauna are resistant to the order of Alman. They're the freest on this island, though they live in the harshest lands.
Too much Christmas spirit.
Perhaps too much of the... I forget what I call Christmas in this world.
Jesus is real, right?
There was like a Christmas-esque holiday that I did have in this world at one point.
It's called Christmas.
I think it was called Dagdanacht. But
Dag-
that wouldn't be the name that it would be called by these people. That's the name
something like think of something that like a Sims character would say, and that could be
Yule
it.
times.
Gibbity.
There you go.
That's funny because
perfect.
I did create a Christmas holiday in the future sci-fi version of Arden, that I think was like it was some play on Yule. I think it might have been like them mispronouncing it as something else, but anyway, whatever these two are giggling about, Shannon's not here, so the giggle storms have come in.
Perska said dubba dubba, and I think it just went off from there.
Suddenly, the gargantuan undead dragon lands on your tower.
Thank God.
Release me from my suffering.
But Baron does look to you all, and he says,
Oh, she's not here.
given the amount of time it's been since the last blackout, this storm might be a couple more days. When they're long like this, there's also other threats that come with the night.
Oh.
It'd be useful to ration our blessed wort. The shadows in the corners of your home are not safe. And if you hear someone begging at the door in the evening, as hard as it is, it's best not to answer.
Well, I
Turning to
hope they
Saf
can't.
and
They
looking
can't
at
get
her directly, making sure she understands.
She
She will, because she's not here.
She has a 1,000-yard stare while you say that, while you look at her.
Well, there's 6 feet of snow out there. Who's gonna be banging on that door right now?
Well, clearly something that has ill intentions. That wants
Or
us
can travel through snow. That's very impressive.
They are wanton spirits of the winter that curse this entire highland. And their spirits are grieved with the presence of the herald, and they seek desperately the warmth of the living, of all men.
Yes. We've experienced it on our way here, actually.
Hey, Septimus, do you know a way to like keep spirits at bay or anything? Ghostly figures in your
I do know.
divination.
Mostly just elementals I know how to keep away, but spirits, maybe I do have something.
Just I don't know. I know you're. As
In
a
some
holy man.
parts of the Gosu Highlands, there's no difference between the spirits and the elements. They're one and the same. Those
So
who die
then-
in the wood, those who suffer the elements, tend to become part of it, lest their spirits are taken by the creeping death.
Can I roll a religion check to see if I can do something to help ward off?
Sure.
While he's doing this, I'm gonna kick open the front door and
Hey,
start
yo!
shoveling.
What are you doing?
Well, we can't just sit here all day.
Well, we can.
That's exactly
actually.
what we need to do.
Jacquet
Did you-
was going to host some gambling games.
Jacquet is still not up. He is still in bed. He's definitely awake, but he hasn't gotten up.
Bruce was looking at Jacquet to hopefully get a rise out of him, but that didn't work. So
I imagine Bruce literally is like yelling that up the stairs to the bedroom to see if he can get something from Jacquet. It's like the snow is like you can see over the top of it. I imagine like just over the top of it. Like I imagine the doorway is maybe 7 feet tall to accommodate everyone here. And then like you just see over the top the immediate, like you just see the wind, and immediately all of you just sort of like snow just gets blown in from the wind. And you know that feeling when you're like maybe you're like cleaning your car and a gust of wind goes and the snow just starts to like atomize into your face, and it's like irritating. So that kind of just wisps into the room as you look over. I mean, not you, Bruce, obviously, but everyone who's tall enough can kind of see a little bit in, and it's just this dull white. And it's not white, it's actually more like a dusky blue because it's quite early in the morning, and with the eclipse and the storm, it's still dark. There will be no like daytime during this storm.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize the like eclipse, like the blackout was still going.
Yes, it's not just the blizzard, the blackout is still happening. This is a dark storm. It's not just overcast with a lot of snow.
All right, I just slammed the door back closed.
Does anyone have a perception of 16 or higher?
Yes.
Okay. It's like in the like last second of him slamming the door shut that you like notice, the three of you, like a spectral hand just sort of like that's shoved away as soon as the door closes.
Yeah, Theo, why
Jacquet.
don't you keep that door closed?
Yeah, Jacquet is all of a sudden like sitting up in the bed. Like no one even noticed that he was watching as he's all like has the crossbow next to him and goes, "Let's leave that door shut until we know the blizzard is done."
Yes. We have Baron here to guide us through this. So let's not get ahead of ourselves.
It really isn't wise to step outside. Unless you have a blessed wart lantern, and I don't think it's wise for us to waste that right now. And it's like as he says that those of you with the 16 or higher just hear like this very quiet scratching at the door.
I need to provide more soundproof. Hey, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sean.
Oh, Alex.
Oh, Sean.
Alex,
Can
boy.
I take a lot of time to investigate, to detect magic, to do all of the above, all of which Bruce knows how to do, to see what kind of magic.
This
The blessed wart
is-
gives off.
Oh, yes, yeah.
As if to replicate for Bruce's magic aura spell as like a mask, and see just as like a test to see if it would help as a temporary solution, or not temporary solution, but like an alternative. I don't know how you would want to rule that or figure that out and navigate that.
Let me check magic aura real quick.
Yeah, Steel's magic aura. So I can provide a false aura or a mask, but I would need to know like what I'm copying.
So
of
I
the
would
blessed
let
wart.
you do this. You can do an Arcana check to see if you can successfully replicate this. I will say, no matter what, it won't be a pure replication. It will be detectable if something were to scrutinize it. But if you succeed in this, you will be able to use the magic aura to create a simulacrum of the blessed wart aura that in mundane ways will keep you safe from, say, like shambling zombies, but from something like the Herald would be able to see right through it.
Got it. Yes. Cool. That's what I'm looking for. All right.
So go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
You
DC
got
is
it.
going to be
Gonna
20.
be self-advantage. I got a 23.
Okay. So it's going to take you all day, though, I'm going to say, to like do some detect magic, and you do a few like failed experiments where you like create an aura and you're just like, it just maybe feels a little tingly and warm for a moment, but then it just like quickly goes away, and you just kind of like keep like, and it almost looks like these little dazzling lights that you keep making that are just like, if anyone was like just didn't understand what you were doing, they'd think you were just trying to like match the glow of the blessed wart and the fire of a burning blessed wart. I am going to say you are going to need to burn a little bit of it to fully get this.
I would also occasionally be like, Bear, how's this?
he would actually be really like fascinated with what you're doing. And inquisitive, and like would probably honestly like kind of like keep hovering around and just being like asking you questions about your artificing, how you he'd ask you like, he'd be like, how did you learn this sort of crafting and magic? Weaved it together.
Grampy and Grammy mostly taught me this stuff, but then I kind of perfected it as with more people I worked with. Everybody had different expertise, and I kind of just meld everything together.
It's very impressive. There's not been a lot of this sort of things that have made their way north, obviously. And you can think like even to the ways that like artificing really like popped off in the last like 5 years. You're obviously, your family was way ahead of the curve.
Right.
But especially with like Halcyon and whatnot, like especially in Aldhalor, like artificing is brand new. Like you were in like the second largest area for study of artificing in Hyven, with the capital of Aldhalor being like much larger, of course, with a lot more Halcyonic influence. So like to these people up here, artificing is like nothing they've seen before. Everything's either magical or mundane here, not combinations of them. And especially since they've been locked here, basically disconnected from society for many years, like anyone you show your artificing to is going to be like, whoa. And like even Sal, people are going to be like, what is that? And them being locked away might even though they're very superstitious, like some of them might not hold the same like biases against Machina in this as the Southerners do, because Machina are even less mundane, or more interesting to them because they don't see much. So Baron is like very much so just like occasionally sometimes just sitting there, sharpening a dagger he has while watching you work, or smoking his pipe, because he does have a pipe, much to the chagrin, I'm sure, of
Jacquette.
Jacquette will just like be like, could you not?
And if Jacquette says, "Could you not?" he would immediately like put it out and not partake.
Merci.
And
Merci.
then later that evening, get tobacco urge and be like, "I gotta go outside."
I imagine he like goes up to the window and like cracks it as he's just like,
Yeah,
and
right,
Jacquette
he's-
still
he's
like comes
he's
up the stairs like
He's like poke a hole through like the snow through the window.
Yeah.
Just to...
Blowing the smoke through his pillow, it's gotten all yellow.
ugh.
But no, you would actually notice though when he does smoke the pipe a little bit that he is smoking whatever that strange herb is that the people were smoking because they don't have tobacco up here. There hasn't
Is it
been a
black
shipment
wort?
of tobacco in years.
Dude,
They would
smoking
not
black wort.
they would not waste blessed wort on smoking it, although I'm sure plenty of people
gives
have
you a
attempted,
really gives you
attempted
good,
the smoking of
buzz.
blessed wort.
It's probably Nolde grass.
He just keeps a fat lip of
of blessed wort.
blessed wort.
Yeah, really opens your eyes. Anyway, the day goes on with a lot of claustrophobia, I imagine, for some of you. And paranoia too, as any creak now, for those who saw the spectral hand, feels like more than just a creak. As even though it's not cold in here, there's just a dull coolness to the air. And you do feel trapped.
Yeah, Fion's just gonna keep reading his manual, trying to keep his mind off things.
If everyone's like in the downstairs, Jacquette goes to the upstairs, summons Robespierre, and starts reciting stuff for Robespierre to write down. And you would all hear. It sounds like he's working on some new material.
I need a bigger tower.
Would you shut up? I'm trying to work here.
From above, you just hear, and then I drew my magical saber and I killed it in one fell strike.
I start hitting with my mace lightly on the ceiling to make thumping noises as if I was in an apartment and my neighbors were being annoying.
Oh, yeah, that's a good beat. That's a good beat. Okay. So, Jacquette is here to say, this is not my forte.
Riveting, Jacquette.
It's not my forte. What do you want? And already, tensions are high as the DM forgot to unmute his mic.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Anyway, as you all kind of laugh a little bit at Jacquette and Fion's bickering in this moment, there's still again that like shaking of the house, and once again you hear the distorted roars in the sky. The house shakes again, and the golden candle that doesn't seem to burn the wax away flickers, and the shadow's arms grow longer in the corners. Whereas, yes, the regular hours of the blackout are rough. They're not much different than a blizzard happening, other than the threat of spectral hands outside. But whenever the dragon is present in the herald, the shadows grow longer unnaturally against the dark, and those abyssal eyes stare back at you, that emptiness, that void, that you can tell it's just something. There's just something there. It's as if you cannot, no matter what, shake that feeling as a child of there's something in the dark. And it seems as though on this second day they're growing stronger, these shadows. And this is when you hear the first knock on the door.
That's so unsettling.
Is anybody home? Anybody? Help! I'm trapped out here. Stop! So cold.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Bruce is gonna bite his lip and just look at Fearin real quick, and he's gonna take a lollipop and he's gonna bite it, and I'm gonna cast Blink. I just want to see if I could see anything spectral wise if I go to ethereal plane.
Yeah. So you shift to the ethereal plane. World kind of glitters like the unseen world in Lord of the Rings when Frodo puts the ring on.
Fearin flips a page in his book. Bruce is missing.
And Bruce, all of the shadows in the room have creatures in them. Spectral shapes that look like almond humanoid, but with 7 arms, 5 legs, 3 heads, 23 eyes, odd numbers all. Their eyes sort of these horrid spirals almost. To a wayward 5, they might look almost pallid. Because they all just... And the one in the corner, back right corner of the room, the hands on the several arms all just sort of like come over its face and then move its eyes across its spectral body until they all almost bring the eyes together in 7 hands, grabbing 23 eyes and bringing them all up into one pile. And then it moves its hands, and it's not one big eye. It's 23 eyes on top of each other, in a singular oculus that then all just look at you. And then you see one of those, 3 of the 7 arms become one big arm and just and pulls itself forward like a slug towards you.
Now, I'm still in the blessed ward. Right?
Yeah, but as soon as its hand comes to the territory of the blessed ward, it burns its hand. But it's just staring at you, these 23 eyes amalgamated into one oculus. And like they're different sized eyes, too. It just stares at you.
Oh, okay.
And then that's when you feel something drip onto your shoulder. And then like burn away in the blessed ward's light. As you look up, and there's another one hanging in the dark above you. 9 arms, 1 leg. 51 eyes.
Odd number.
11 mouths.
Oh my gosh.
And all of those mouths are drooling. This ichor.
We're gonna have to get out of here. This is but one more thing before I do. I don't think Bruce has ever tried to cast a spell while in this state. I mean, this is not... I'm using the blink spell here. This is not...
Yeah, you're not using etherealness.
Yeah.
But essentially, like, the ethereal world in this fantasy is like an unseen world things that are unseen in the material plane have some imprint on the ethereal plane. So these things might not be able to like get you here, but you can see each other.
Yeah.
And they're clearly, these are what you all have been scared of when you're staring and don't know what you're staring at.
Yeah. Okay. This is just another horror show.
It might even be the things that are on your back when you're walking around. Like even with the blessed warts light, they might be the things that are just clutching your shoulders. That make you feel like you need to run up the stairs as fast as possible. Hell, maybe they're in real life. They're there too.
Damn it, Sean. You know,
Sir
I
Sean.
thought I left that in high school. Okay. I don't need to bring that back. Yeah, I'm gonna come back. And Bruce is just gonna immediately go to the floor like, oh, okay. And he's gonna probably sit in the center of the room where the blessed ward is.
Yeah.
After doing that.
Everything all right there, Bruce?
Yeah. Well, no. I just made eye contact with a lot of the other spirits. They are horrifying looking.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna sit nice in center in this blessed ward. This is really nice blessed ward.
You all like look to the shadows and feel that same dread. But you don't see the horrors that Bruce saw. You just feel the horrors.
Ooh.
Yeah, Bruce is probably not going to go in the bed. He's probably going to lay on the floor in the center of the room.
And so long as we have the blessed want, whatever you saw will remain at bay.
Yeah, I did see that. Just, we got to make sure that the blessed ward does not fade or go away.
We have enough here for 2 more days.
What
We
happens
should
if
be
we
okay.
run out?
It's never lasted that long.
Watch, this'll be the first one.
My candle can keep some of it at bay, but not as much as the blessed wort. They must be stronger today than they were yesterday. They'll be stronger tomorrow if it keeps going. We should keep close to each other, even in this tight space.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Burn less of the wort.
Yeah, you hear that, Jaquette? Come get close to us. Stop isolating yourself.
Right.
I'm not isolating, I'm just trying to stay away from you.
Yeah.
It's
well,
Jacques, you feel like a little like breeze almost on the back of your neck, like something's breathing there.
But yeah, maybe, we can hug or something. That'd be fun, right?
Well, it should clear up, hopefully, by tomorrow morning.
All right.
Should, hopefully.
Usually the Herald gets what I can only assume is bored. And leaves. But it is a time for new things, so we didn't expect strangers to arrive from the east. Perhaps his interest has been piqued greater.
Hopefully, that's not the case.
Yeah, you think he knows about us already?
If he has any connection to the being that we destroyed in Stony... No,
Stormbreaker Landing.
Stonebreaker Landing. He might have sensed something.
Did you bring
I'm
anything
sure-
with you?
Oh yeah, no, we've got a lot of cursed shit. Oh, maybe not cursed, but
Looking to Bruce
Uh,
and his femur.
don't you have the crook?
I do.
No, I think he was talking to me, and I do.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got the crook. Sorry, I've got the femur. I also have the book. I also have the other tracker, ball, dust, goo. I don't remember what it's
Book?
called. Oh,
The devil
Yeah,
book.
Oh,
we
right,
ain't-
the fiendish folio. Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't think that's connected to this in any way.
no. I'm just saying. I listing off a bunch of things that I have that are
Dangerous.
Did you
Yeah.
say the Fiend Folio?
fiend
Yeah.
folio. Actually, speaking of the fiend folio, if we could read it properly, we can learn how to, you know.
I can read it. You just won't let me.
No, I
You can-
think in a proper setting, I think you should read it.
Bruce, a bunch of books fall off of one of the bookshelves that are in this room.
God damn it!
You keep
Bruce
mocking
doesn't
his name out of your
pick them
mouth.
up. He just lets it stay on the floor.
Knocking at the door.
Hey,
Who
Septimus,
is it?
have you figured out?
Oh yeah, Septimus, you can give me a religion check for that. You may have already done it.
It
and
was
you forgot to
a
resolve it.
while ago. It was 15.
15. So you would need.
If I tell him to think harder, can I give him +5 to that roll?
Septimus, you know how to make these things. You're not sure how well it will do with this touch of undeath, but spirits, you know how to create wards for.
Mm-hmm.
I would allow you to expend silver to create wards.
Okay.
And just assume it comes from sort of your component pouch and your holy goods. You can create essentially the same way you can create holy water as a cleric. You can basically create a variation of holy water that would affect elementals versus the usual effects of holy water.
Mm. Yeah, I'll do that. How much silver? We talking?
Let's look at holy water. Because clerics can make holy water. Holy water.
Holy guacamole.
Well, that's a fun fact. 5e 2024 removed the feature where clerics can make the holy water. From the item, I don't know, it might be in the class, but it used to be that you could take an hour to perform a ritual and use 25 gold pieces, silver pieces here. Technically, you do need powdered silver, which I very specifically said you didn't have recently. But in my mind, 24 silver pieces can be ritually turned to silver powder.
Okay.
And it costs you a first level spell slot to create it.
What? That's fair. Okay. Then I'll do that. No worries, Bruce. I think I might be able to handle this. And so go and start just taking out coin purse of silver, kind of one piece at a time, just like rubbing between his hands with like magic emanating from it as it turns to dust, and he sprinkles it in front of him, and he does that around the perimeter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'll say essentially instead of it being like holy water where it's a vial you throw at an undead creature, I'll say you've created a perimeter of this ward where if an elemental spirit tries to pass it, they'll need to make a dexterity saving throw against your spell DC, or take 2d8 radiant damage upon trying to pass through.
to help improve the warding here.
Right. Good.
But there's still the occasional knock at the door, and now you start to hear scratching at the door. And then occasionally, every now and then, you hear it from the shadows, as if something is inside, where you might think you heard something that you maybe didn't, or vice versa. You didn't hear something, but something did make a noise. It's confusing. It's almost hallucinatory, where you might hear from a shadowy corner crying, or someone saying, "Help me. I'm trapped. I'm scared of the dark." Until it all slowly begins to fade at one point, as if attention is released. The house stops creaking. There's still wind outside. The blizzard may still be going, but the herald perhaps is no longer close. And where the blessed wort was staving off the horror, it is now warming your bones. And almost leaching that necrotic energy out of the room. And peace comes back. No oddly eyed creatures clinging to your back. The warmth of Pescos. As perhaps the blizzard is beginning to turn into a regular blizzard. But time will tell if the herald has truly passed on. But right now you can feel safe that he's not above you, as you imagine he probably was while this was happening. To the point when, if you looked out the window, the herald may have been directly above you. So much so that the spectral dragon may have even been only within a couple yards of the rooftop.
Hey, anyone in there?
Yeah, just
Sounds
looking through
like-
the window. It was actually him at the door that was like, "Hey guys, can't be
Hey
in?"
guys, I'm just here from the neighborhood watch to welcome you and say I'm keeping an eye out. I don't know why everyone runs away from me, but I'm just trying to...
Really?
No, I'm here to kill you and eat your soul. You fool, why'd you let me in? I live by
Yeah.
vampire rules.
Lou, why are you here?
Oh, I'm sorry. But anyway, if anything, like you just feel that weight come off of you as it's later in the day now, and it's almost perfectly timed for you to go to sleep. As maybe you're finding it troublesome to sleep as you're getting closer to 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Now it's around midnight as this weight is lifted. Perhaps your appetite even returns. You see Baron kind of immediately bites into a big piece of bread with some butter as he sips some wine with a smile on his face. Whereas before this, he had a dead serious face, watching the door and watching the shadows, hand on his daggers. But now, taste seems to come back to food, to wine, and your head can rest on your pillow as another day of the blackout passes.
Yay.
How much time did I get on my reading?
You would have gotten a solid 8 hours on it, because you would have been able to do it throughout the day.
Oh. Getting there.
And on this second day, as the night approaches, you go to sleep. Again, Baron insists upon watching.
And again, you would fall asleep to him humming some old Aldhalor tune as he watches over each of you resting. And you almost become comfortable now. And you can almost imagine how these people live this way. Still with fear at the back of their minds, but the next morning comes. The cold is still there. The shadows in the corners begin to deepen again, though not as much as the day prior. Fearin, you druidcraft.
Yep. And Saskia probably would have scried, but whatever.
Perhaps
We can
we'll
say that for
resolve
next week.
Yeah, we'll resolve that for next week. But what I will tell you right now, Blizzard.
Blizzard.
Blackout's gonna last another day, at least with your druidcraft knowledge.
Lizard.
I relay this information.
We'll be cutting it close if it lasts deep into tomorrow.
Are you sure I mean, other people have to be suffering as much as we are. Do you think it would be, do you think it's safe to hold out, or should we try and, take a risk as long as we have the light?
If we leave here, we must bring a blessed wort lantern. The risk we run is we will burn through our blessed wort more hardily if we leave us vulnerable tomorrow if the storm lasts.
If we make it to the druids,
The hags.
in the hags, hamlet, will they be able to take us in? Possibly.
They may. If we're looking to help others who might be stuck, they may allow us to take some of the blessed wort and distribute it for the last day. If they ration this to us, it means we're not the only ones who are trying to keep it aflame. The problem is our own store will burn quickly out there. We might find ourselves stuck in the blackout. There's no guarantee that we'll find reward with this. But if this lasts longer than 4 days, then people will die.
Well, we've got to do something. I mean, I'm not one to just sit here and perish in a tower.
Let's wait to see what tomorrow brings, and then we can decide. There's no use getting stressed about it now, if the blizzard will end tomorrow.
He's right. If the blizzard doesn't end by morning, we make a trek out. Head for the Hag's Hamlet. Get their wisdom. If we can, hold out our flames long enough to distribute blessed wort to the rest of the village with the hags. And see how long it must last. If the morning comes and the blizzard passes, then we're safe. But if it lasts long past midday, there's a risk. Some will die. You don't have to come with me, but tomorrow morning, if the blizzard lasts, I will head out.
We'll join you. I fear the superstition of this village may place the blame on a long storm on the newcomers, as I kind of got the vibe of yesterday. So if we can help, we will. Besides, Bruce can make this tower anywhere he wants, so we can just put it next to the Hag's Hamlet afterwards.
Yeah. Maybe I'll figure out a way to make it bigger, too.
Fingers crossed.
No, I need more time, more research, more energy.
More than 24 hours.
Maybe, a card from the many deck things.
Well, let's hold fast today and see what morning brings.
Okay.
One more day.
One more time. Gotta celebrate. Come on, dancing.
The day continues with Jacquette sharing this tune with you all. This day does bring some of the same tension. As you can tell, it's almost like there's a cycle that the Herald is going through. And another series of hours comes where the shadows creep up, and that those horrors hide in the dark, as you saw, Bruce. And like you saw, Fearn, the blizzard lasts through the whole day. But your blessed warp burns, and the shadows are kept at bay. No lights burn other than the blessed wart bringing you into the night. The next morning comes. Fearn,
Yeah,
do you druidcraft?
I do. But first, how many hours did I get in my
8.
reading? Okay,
You
what
all-
do I see, Sean?
You all gather in the main floor as Fearn's orb of weather forms. Knowing that this will determine if you're going to have an easy day or a really shitty day. And your hearts sink a little as the orb persists with its blizzard.
Shit.
Baron lets out a very heavy sigh. You don't need to come with me. I can make it to the Hag's Hamlet.
That's crazy. A better chance of living together.
Pierre's right. If we stick together, we fight off anything that approaches. Plus, we won't be much safer here without any blessed ward. Plus, you said you need to carry it along with you. Should all go where the blessed ward goes.
We could sort of make a human wall, and you could sit in the middle. We'll leave Bruce in the middle.
Yeah. I like that.
Perhaps it is important that you came to our village then. If you were not here, I'm sure I would have perished on my own. And perhaps this would have been the last blackout of Serkanto.
Say that after we get to the hut.
You're right, Fionn. I'm celebrating too quick. Vigilance. Well, prepare yourselves.
Yeah, I'm right. I summon my weapon and, I just start doing stretches because I've been sitting in the same position for 3 days.
And on that note, before you prepare to head out into the blackout to save the city, once again, Iron and Mana doing hero shit instead of back alley deals in their new life after being defeated. We'll pick that up next session. Thank you, folks, for hanging out with us while our characters got some team building time trapped inside Bruce's tiny tower. We'll jump into the action next session. All right.
Nice.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us for this RP heavy session, but I'm certain there'll be some action next session. We're gonna call it there. Join us wherever you join us in the world. Thank you for hanging out in Paradise.
Join us.